You're looking at. Good morning, everybody. How's it going? I'm Ed Parcaut here with Mike Kelly, and we're Real Estate Jerky Daily, I guess.
Yes, we are.
I'm so many different things. I just don't remember what I am. So what we didn't really get into yesterday, but this is Jobs Week.
Jobs
week. So first report out was going to be Tuesday, and what do you know? Today is Tuesday. So the first job, which is the Jolts report.
It's my favorite report.
Yeah, Bureau of Labor Statistics job opening and labor turnover survey. It looks at job openings and labor turnover.
Really?
Yeah.
I know they named it that.
Yeah. Someone's got to name it something.
You know, they came up with that just so they could say Jolts.
Yeah, well, there was like, someone took that and made it into a drink.
For about a week and a half. Didn't they get told not to sell that stuff anymore?
Well, I'm sure it's back now, and they have even more. But anyway, So we had a little slight issue. That's why the market's up this morning, and I thought I told you to go away. Issue with it one more time. All right, we're going to get into talk about this as soon as I tell this thing to stop making noise. I don't know why every time. All right, so the Jolts report actually came in not the way we wanted it. So it rose from 8.92 million in job openings to 9.61 million in job openings.
So that means there's more jobs.
That's correct.
Okay.
More jobs. So Biden administration just made some more jobs this month. And so what that did is they made the bond market go, oh no, it's not going the way we want it. And now we're up another 42 basis points this morning after being up yesterday 42 basis points. And I priced out a loan yesterday for somebody with 3% down, and it was in the mid sevens. We'll just say that.
So, not a happy
no
rate, but not a horrible rate.
Well, it just depends. Well, it's like this. Okay, after being in the business for almost 20 some years, I'm back to when I started in this business. If it keeps going and we get to 9, that's exactly where I started. Yeah. And then, but if you look, we were at these rates in the 2000s.
Yeah.
So, and before we got on the show, the reason we're late, I was talking to a client about where the market is. And he was like, everybody keeps thinking that 2008 is going to happen because it's so close in the rear view mirror. And that's what we're used to, but it's a totally different world. And we talked about this many times. In 2008, we had 3.5 million properties on the market for listings for sale, and we currently nationwide only have 522,000, even though that's up drastically from last week of about 7,000 more.
Yeah, drastically. So those prices are going to start coming down.
No, they're not.
I'm teasing.
Yeah, I know everybody keeps the Chicken Littles out there are all over the place. Yeah, because it's easier to be negative than positive. Yeah. If I'm negative, it doesn't happen. So what? But look, it's so much better. But if you're positive and it goes negative, then they go, you were wrong. And the issue is there's just no inventory. That's the key. Look what happened during the, you can't see your hand when you're outside there.
I know, but they can assume.
Do this. Anyway, that's the wrong thing to do. But anyway. So let's move on to some other stuff. All right, so the Jolts report. Now we're going to have later this week, we're going to have a few more reports. And where did I put them so I could say what all right, so
is that Thursday?
Wednesday is ADP unemployment report and mortgage applications. Thursday is initial jobless claims, which is every Thursday. And then Friday is the Bureau of Labor Statistics job report, which is another major report. And so like I said, it's jobs week this week, and this is important week to see where everything's going, because if the jobs come out showing there's more jobs and more this and the economy's still doing well, we're going to see rates go higher and we could hit that 8%, 8.5%.
Yeah.
And then
something to look forward to.
Yeah. Well, and right now they said 90% of the market is unaffordable for most people.
Yeah, but that's truth.
Yeah, but that 10% can get a deal right now.
Exactly.
If you're that 10%, please give me a call.
Yeah.
No, it's just, you have to understand. I mean, people will go, I don't need to do it. I don't want to buy right now because rates are high and this is high and that's a higher payment and I don't want to get into it. And that's like a lot of the Chicken Littles out there going, why are you doing that to yourself? What if you can't refinance in a year from now? What if you can't do that? Yeah, that's true. You have to be okay with the payment and okay with being able to make that payment going forward. Yep. Not everybody can do it. Don't strap yourself to make that payment, because it could turn around and you could be a foreclosure, which is on a very small amount right now.
A very, very small.
Because most people have equity where they can sell. Because I just telling the gentleman, 2/3 of the people out there either have no mortgage or a mortgage of less than 50%
Right.
of their, so they have 50% equity. So that tells you there's only a third out there who might have,
up against the wall,
3 to 20% equity in their house,
yeah,
because they recently purchased, but they could still sell it. They could still rent it. There's other things they can do. So that's hardly anybody. And the only things that are going on the market right now, we keep saying, is death, divorces, and job transfers. So that's a really small part of the market. That's 35%, if that.
maybe. Yeah.
So
life events.
Yeah. So think about it. There's really no reason, if I don't have to sell, I'm not going to put my house on the market.
Yeah.
And so if that's inventory stays just strapped this as like we have it, there is no bubble. It's not going to get worse. I mean, it's going to get worse possibly for rates, but not worse and that's what they're thinking. We're going to hit 8 before we go lower. Everybody's looking at, okay, next year and where's that at? I put it over here so I remember. So they're thinking next year, the 10-year, right? The 10-year is really not what's related to the mortgages, but that's kind of what they're looking at. They're thinking what is going to happen next year, that the base rates, the 10-year, some people are saying it's going to go down to 3.5%. I don't see that happening. One person said yields could fall to 4%, and a strong economics, kind of where we are right now, they could go back down to 4. I think we're at 4.6 right now. I didn't put in here because I got in my way of my coffee. But if we hit a recession, we could look at it dropping to 2.75, which would be almost half of where we are now. So rates would go down about 2%. The big guy expects them to fall next year, citing financial relationships between the 10-year and the GDP. So if you look at the numbers, David Rosenberg, but most people won't know who he is. He was with the Mortgage Bankers Association and Fannie and all those people. So long story short, more jobs, go get a better job. And that's what you should be doing right now. If you can, go get a better job.
Yeah.
To better your life. If there's truly
more
this
money,
many,
offset those rates.
Right. And you can go get your own house by getting a better job. A lot of people are afraid to. They're afraid to go, well, what happens? Well, your employer probably would increase you by 7 to 10% to stay, because like I said, I think yesterday we talked about it. Yeah. Was it yesterday or Friday?
Friday.
About that they're not letting people go because it's so hard to train people and so hard for people to actually want. And this is not everybody, but there is a small percentage that is very difficult to get them to come in and actually take a job.
Right.
Because I need all that negativity. I can't take it anymore.
You can't take it anymore.
No, it makes me cry. CoreLogic reported that home prices rose 0.3% in August, and now we're up year over year 3.7%. So you can go ahead and tell me, what does that mean? Which so basically what they're even did I put in here? Yeah, even Realtor.com is saying how what did I say? Realtor? Yeah. Realtor.com articles are citing falling home prices going to getting attentions, but the way they looked at it. One of the examples, they said Phoenix and Las Vegas reported a 1.2 to 2.7 decline. But if they look in the last few months, the last 4 months, they've actually been going up. They've been right. So again, you can lie very well with statistics. You can get the numbers to make you put your point out there.
Yeah, there was a broker in town that used to do that all the time.
Did they?
Yeah, he's gone now.
Oh,
he couldn't hide the truth. They weren't doing well.
So what they're saying is don't listen to the media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and what's nice about my YouTube TV now, I can do like all the 4 different type of media, but I just can't stand 3 of them. So I only watch one of them.
Yeah. Which is kind of nice, isn't it? You don't even have to skip through it.
You're just like, what are you saying? Different.
All right. Does that bring you to a close?
Mm-hmm.
I get to talk a little bit?
Nope. Not at all.
Okay. Goodbye. Have a great day, guys.
What do you got?
I just wanted to say that Redfin is leaving the National Association of Realtors. So however many brokers or realtors they have at Redfin, they're going to leave the NAR because they don't like the direction that the lawsuits are going, and they don't think they need the National Association of Realtors anymore. Big discount brokerage, the lawsuit's interesting. It's interesting. It's going to see how it reshapes how real estate is done and how buyers agents are being paid.
I heard that was one of the articles I read was because of the fact of the sexual harassment, and they're standing behind their current person.
NAR is standing behind Kenny.
Yeah, and then
I mean,
that's why Redfin is one of the reasons they're leaving. That was cited in an article I read.
A lot of people won't say this, but the person that's crying sexual harassment is also the person that had an open affair with him. So I just think that's kind of just bullshit, a little two-faced.
Yeah, but I don't want to get into that because I'm not part of what really was going on.
Yeah, neither am I. Yeah. But I mean, it's just it takes two people to tangle. Agree to go your separate ways, whatever. Don't file a sexual harassment lawsuit. It's just, I don't know.
Well, that they can make a lot of money.
Sure,
because these days they'll just pay for shit to go away.
Yeah, and he's a bad man.
Well, here's a long story short. Don't date people in your organization. Don't date people that are connected to you. And you
don't date people. Look how people went away. But anyway, it was kind of interesting to see that. I don't know how many agents they had. They didn't really say how many agents they had, but and NAR said, okay, well, bye-bye. See ya.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing going forward is to explain the value of the buyer's agent to everybody, because that's what's the most difficult thing going forward.
If you're a buyer and you want representation solely for you, a buyer's agent is very important.
Well, I'm talking about with a lawsuit and how a lot of places don't want, the listing side pays for both, and they're trying to separate those two things.
That model has worked for years and years and years and years. And the way it's explained is, I'm a broker. I charge you 6% or whatever's negotiable, because it's completely negotiable. And I offer a percentage of that to the cooperating broker to entice a buyer. Period. End of conversation. I don't know how you could be a buyer and say, well, I don't know how my agent's getting paid, and I paid more for the house because my agent has to be paid. No, you didn't. You paid market value.
All right. Well, what you could do is you could actually still do the same scenario. Say I charge whatever the percentage is on that side. Mm-hmm. And then in your relationship with buyer's agent saying, we will pay you this amount of our commission. You follow me?
Yeah.
Even though it's supposedly the same, just your relationship is with the listing agent or the lister, and saying you're paying us this. And then you have a relationship with other buyer agents throughout the county or wherever, saying we pay this out to buyers agents.
Yeah, broker has to pay broker, and then he splits that commission.
Right. So there's another way to. It's just how they're going to reword the document.
Yeah, and it's just semantics.
Well,
maybe I just oversimplify the whole thing. Nobody's paying. No buyer is paying more for their house because the seller had to pay both sides of the commission. And no seller is losing any money on their house because they pay X amount in commission.
But they will pay less. They will get less for their house going forward if they don't entice buyer's agents to write offers on their houses.
Right. And now you have to add buyer's agents or buyers are, now I have to pay my agent.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what?
I can't afford to buy a house.
I can't afford to buy what you're offering.
Right.
I can't afford to buy it.
Well, that's like our side. They don't pay us unless they do some ridiculous, the non-QM bank statement and all those type of loans. Then we're back to where it was back in the day where there was points.
Right.
The only time you pay points now is usually when you go through online people.
Right.
Or TV people.
The television personalities.
They got to pay for that. They got to pay for that advertising somehow.
Yeah. And it's going to be through points that you pay up front or
buy local.
Yeah.
Work local. El Loco.
So what else we got?
There will be 2 market values from now on if that happens.
Yeah, there probably will be. And
one will include 2 commissions and one will include value. One includes 1.
Yeah.
I just, it's one of those, it'll work its way out like it always does. Yeah. It's just a matter of how and how is it going to see it. I think it's just going to be more of a clarification of the initial listing contract, that what they, you're paying us to list this property. And when a buyer comes in, they're going to go, please, this is that unintentional consequences.
Yep.
Just like recently where, when we got to raise our leases and this by 8 to 10% to stay. And now you can't even break the leases because they passed new laws where if you're going to break the lease, you got to show your buyer this, you got to show that.
Yeah.
So what they should have did also
there will be, you know what? I'm going to get out of the rental market. And I'm going to sell these all to owner occupied.
Right. And if you have a lease, if you need, and you're leaving that place, you need to show your transfer orders, or you need to, Why it's like, why is it only on the actual landlord to actually, it's no longer what's best for the whole. It's only what's best for one individual.
Well, it's on the landlord because they own property,
Bad
and you
people.
can lien the property, and you can, they're the big bad person.
Right, because they're putting houses out there for people to live in.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we're done.
Yeah, I'm done.
I just got so sad.
Did you?
I'm gonna cry.
Well, I did hear something funny today when they were talking about, people, checking who's going to run for this and run for that. And someone says, the best way to get Biden not to run again, just tell him he's in his second term.
Yeah. You've already run you won twice. Congratulations. This is your last term.
Yeah. You can't run again. Oh, okay. Thank you.
I saw something funny this morning, and I thought it was very, very funny because when Biden gets done giving a speech, he turns into a Roomba. He just drops his hands and starts walking around. I thought that was hilarious and creative.
Yeah, and we're not, you're supposed to be able to make fun of everybody and have fun with that as, especially comedians. Yeah.
Some people are just easier targets.
Yeah, and what'd you think of that gentleman I sent you who, makes fun of everybody that we can talk afterwards. All right, everybody, make it a great day. Thanks for being here, and thanks for watching. The best way you can do for us is just subscribe, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks for making comments, Alvina.